Hey YouTubers, long time no see. Had to take a little hiatus while I tried to save up some money to buy some more parts for this turd vehicle. We're going to go through the 8.8 rear end for the second time, so hopefully the second verse will be slightly different than the first verse. Apparently I totally failed on the setting the pinion preload. Because it literally was humming and roaring and clunking and popping. Shout out to Eric the Car Guy during his 8.8 rebuild videos where he shows the differences between the different manufacturers of your different bearings for the 8.8. You cannot mix different manufactured bearings with another manufacturer's races. They are not made exactly the same. Because if you watch the first video of me rebuilding this 8.8, the rebuilt track lock I bought came with brand new bearings on it, but the person I bought it from had lost the races. Well, I thought, no big deal, I'll just go buy some cheap carrier bearings from the parts store, grab the races off of it and throw the damn thing back together. Apparently that's a bad idea. The main thing that killed it was improper pinion preload, because something is not right with me, A, mixing the races and the bearings on the pinion, and B, the spacing or the pinion depth itself has to be wrong. If you reach in there and grab that pinion right now, it's really hard to turn, and I know that can't be right. So, all right, gonna have to do a little different angle here. Basically what I've done is put the vehicle up on jack stands, let the differential hang, pull off your rims and tires. You're gonna have to take your brake calipers loose, or your drums, whatever you have on your vehicle. Pull your diff cover, get your C-clips out, pull your axles out. Then after you get your axles out, you can actually pull the track lock or your third member differential, whatever you want to call it, out of the housing. That's where I'm at right now, guys. I didn't show that on video because I'm actually borrowing a friend's shop and I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I don't know how long this is going to take me to get it back together. We'll need to remove the outer axle bearings and the outer axle seals, because those will be replaced on this rebuild. See if you guys can see a little bit better this side. But you can see up under there, I have everything, you know, pretty much tore down. I got the track lock over there underneath the TV on the workbench. Tell you what, if I'm going to build a shop in my lifetime, this is the kind of shop you want. Going to get ready to, you know, pull that gear off and start getting that transferred over. I'm checking all my spider gears because I was afraid they would be damaged. They look good so far. In this box is the deluxe 8.8 rebuild kit. Hopefully it will have everything I need. So let's keep working and we'll continue this video. All right, let's open her up and see what we got. Pretty cool. All Power Sports drivetrain, Atwood Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio. $79. Lord, I wouldn't want to use that pan gasket. That doesn't look the best. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. We're just gonna go ahead and attack it. Good Lord. Serious plastic. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's your side shim pack. Man, there's a ton of those things. Look at that. That's how you set your side to side on your carrier. Here's your pinion shims. I don't know that I would ever use this poor excuse for a pan gasket, but they gave me one of them. Let's see. Identify all of our seals. Oops. New nut. Always, your final assembly, you always want to use a brand new nut with fresh Loctite on it. Apparently that's one of the mistakes I made before. They give you a packet of brand new ring gear bolts. These are your outer axle bearings. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. So I got my outer axle bearings. These are going to be my outer axle seals. There's your main seal for your pinion. Figure out which ones of these are which. You have your two carrier bearings and races. 1, 2. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this stuff has to match, guys. You cannot use this brand. These are Koyo, K-O-Y-O. You can't use this Koyo bearing with any other brand race. You cannot interchange bearings and races from different manufacturers. It's not compatible. And this is one of your what I call your big internal pinion bearing. Then you got your small outer pinion bearing. They went ahead and sent a brand new crush sleeve and some marking compound for checking your pattern. That is a really good deal for 79 bucks. The easiest way to get these off is to take a pair of side cutters, remove the cage and all the rollers, leaving the internal race. Then you connect a removal tool to it. From what I've seen just following other YouTube videos, if you put a great deal of pressure on it and it's not moving, you're better off just putting a little heat on that inner race to get it to release. Alright guys, I'm not going to lie to you. This was a pain in the neck to get to work. But if you're patient with it, you can get it to work. I was unsuccessful in adding heat to it because my map gas torch was out of gas and I didn't know it. But you just got to keep working with this clamping force to snug it down and get it tight enough, and then play with this crossbar to where this thing will stay centered on your pressing bolt. And I upgraded to a stronger impact and just kept hitting it until it started moving. Finally. Whew. It wasn't near as easy as it seemed coming from those videos I was watching, but it did come off. There you can see the combination of sockets with a ring gear bolt to push with, and that fits snugly, safely in there. Real quick, like before I get the tool set back up on the other side to pull this one off, this could potentially be part of the noise from my carrier. Watch this. This internal race moves freely on this carrier. The other side was dead tight, press fit, dead tight on the other side. This one. But this one, I'm hoping that doesn't turn into a huge problem for me. I might have to get some purple Loctite to put behind my new bearing race. That's not supposed to turn like that. I don't know why. Hear it? You can't pull it off by hand, but you sure not going to use any curse words. That thing should not be spinning, and you shouldn't be able to move it up and down like that. So let's see what we can find. All right, so this is how I got the other one off. Setting it on there and trying to keep it level while I equally turn in these bolts. May not be the best to view, but I just want to make sure I get this right. But as you're tightening this thing and try to visually keep this thing level, it'll climb up that beveled edge. And trust me, if you have two hands that work properly, you can probably do this a lot quicker than me. But basically what I'm doing is trying to keep this thing level and tighten it little by little as it walks up that little bevel. And as soon as it gets hooked under this top edge right here, there's a lip. That little lip of that internal race is what you're trying to grab onto. As soon as it grabs it, it'll start getting really snug. And I snug it down pretty hard. If you can heat that internal race, it pops right off. But my stupid tank was out of fuel. I have a little divot in my center of my bolt there to kind of give it a good spot to center itself, because you want this thing to be as centered as you can, this way and this way. And again, you're gonna have to put washers on here, because I tried doing it without washers and it didn't like that at all. So what we're gonna do is start our nuts. I personally had not used a tool like this before, and when Jordan first showed it to me, I was like, I don't know how that thing works. That stupid washer's upside down. We'll make it work. But basically what I was doing is making sure this thing is as centered as I can get it. Then I'll take my wrench. What I want to do, or what you want to do, is try to tighten them equally so that you've got equal amount of compression on your tool. And I mean, if you wanted to, as soon as this thing gets flush on both sides, that's about, you know what I mean, as long as you're equal, so your clamping force is going to be the same, it should work fine. So then, technically, if we put the impact on here, it should come off. It doesn't mean it will, but it might. Look at that. That's how easy that one came off. Because like I said, that race was literally loosely spinning on this journal, and that's not good. That's not good at all. I'm gonna have to mic that and make sure it's still usable. Just a little quick closing. That is the inside of that internal race for that carrier bearing assembly. It's smoked, guys. That thing is smoked. I've tried wiping it out. I've tried scrubbing it out. That thing was spinning around on that journal. The carrier itself looks okay. As long as I can get a good press fit with the new bearing, I should be fine. But I'm wondering if this is a direct correlation to someone maybe had sanded or ground out some of this diameter so they could assemble it easier without a press. I don't know, guys, because the rollers weren't bad and the roller area here was not damaged. I don't know, but that definitely is not supposed to spin freely around this part of your carrier, so that was definitely one of the reasons it was making noise. Hey, a big shout out to Jordan for letting me use his shop to try to get the Blazer back on the road. It's helped me out immensely. So you guys give it a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share.